You did everything right. You paid every bill on time. You didn't miss a payment or max out a card, and then you check your score, and it dropped 20 points. How is that even possible? Here's the truth almost nobody explains. Paying on time is only part of the story. Your payment history is the biggest single piece of your credit score, but it's only about a third of it. The other 2/3 can move your score up or down while you're doing nothing wrong. Today we'll walk through every reason a perfect paying person suddenly loses points, and exactly what to do about it. Because once you understand how the score actually works, a surprise drop stops being scary. It becomes something you can see coming and often prevent. Let's get into it. I'm Don Blake, and this is USAFinance, where we hand you everything you need to get, keep, and grow your money with nothing but sourced facts and plain English. This is education, not advice. We're not selling a credit repair service or a magic trick. We'll show you how your score is actually built using the same factors FICO and the bureaus publish. And this matters more than people realize. Your credit score quietly decides what you pay on a car, a mortgage, a credit card, even your insurance and your apartment. A few points the wrong way can cost you thousands. Every number today comes from FICO, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and the 3 bureaus themselves. If this helps, subscribe. Let's follow the score. Let's start with the myth that trips everyone up, that if you just pay on time, your score can only go up. It can't. Here's why. Your FICO score is built from 5 ingredients, and payment history is the biggest, about 35%. So yes, paying on time is the most important thing you can do, but that leaves 65% of your score controlled by other things entirely. That's the part people forget. You can have a flawless payment record and still lose points because of how much you owe, how old your accounts are, or how recently you applied for credit. Think of your score like a report card with 5 subjects. Payment history is your best subject, but if your grade slips in the other 4, your average still drops. Let's look at all 5. Here are the 5 factors, straight from FICO, with roughly how much each one counts. 1. Payment history, about 35%. Do you pay on time? 2. Amounts owed or utilization, about 30%. How much of your available credit are you using? 3. Length of credit history, about 15%. How old are your accounts? 4. New credit, about 10%. Have you applied for a lot recently? And 5. Credit mix, about 10%, meaning a healthy variety of credit types. Notice something. 4 of these 5 have nothing to do with whether you paid on time. They add up to 65% of your score. So when a perfect payer loses points, the answer is almost always hiding in one of those 4. Let's start with the biggest. The number 1 reason a good payer's score drops is credit utilization, about 30% of your score. Utilization is simple, how much of your available credit you're using. A $10,000 limit with $2,000 on it is 20%. The lower the better. Most experts point to under 30%, and under 10 is stronger still. Here's the trap. You can pay in full every month and still show high utilization. Why? A big purchase, an appliance, a vacation, a medical bill on the card spikes your balance. Even if you plan to pay it off, the score may be calculated while that balance is high. You didn't miss a payment, you just used your card, and the score noticed. Which brings us to the sneakiest detail of all. Here's the piece that shocks people. The balance that hurts your score usually isn't what you owe on your due date. It's what you owed on your statement closing date. Most issuers report your balance to the bureaus once a month, on the day your statement closes, not the day you pay. So if you charge $3,000 and your statement closes before you pay it down, the bureaus see $3,000, even if you pay in full a week later. That's why someone who never carries debt can still look like a heavy user on paper. The fix is quiet and powerful. Pay your balance down before the statement closing date, not just the due date. Same money, same discipline. But the snapshot the bureaus see is much lower. Now a real head scratcher. Sometimes paying off a loan, doing the responsible thing, makes your score dip. Let me explain. When you pay off and close an installment loan, like a car or student loan, 2 things can happen. First, you might reduce your credit mix. That variety of account types worth about 10%. If it was your only installment account, closing it can nudge the score down. Second, an active on-time loan was helping your report look busy and healthy. Close it, and that positive monthly activity stops. Now, do not keep debt just to protect a score. Paying off a loan is a win, and any dip is usually small and temporary. It's just good to know the drop is normal, not a mistake. Closing a credit card is another classic way to lose points while thinking you're being responsible, and it can hit your score in 2 directions at once. First, utilization. How much of your total limit you're using. Say 3 cards with $10,000 in total limits and $2,000 on them, 20%. Close a card with a $5,000 limit, and the same $2,000 is a much bigger slice of a smaller pie. Your utilization jumps and your score can fall, even though you didn't spend a dime more. Second, age. Closing an old card can lower the average age of your accounts, chipping at that 15% length factor. The lesson: Think twice before closing an old, no-fee card. Sometimes the best thing a card can do is just sit there, open. Let's talk about applying for new credit, because this one catches people right when they're trying to save money. When you apply for a card, a car loan, or a mortgage, the lender runs a hard inquiry, a formal check of your credit. Each one can knock a small number of points off, usually less than 5, and it fades within about a year, though it stays visible on your report for 2. So you shop for a better car loan rate, apply at 3 lenders, and your score dips. You did something smart, but the inquiries left a mark. The good news, scoring models know people rate shop. For big loans like auto or mortgage, multiple inquiries in a short window, usually a couple of weeks, count as one. Just don't spread applications over months. Here's a drop that isn't even your doing. It's the lenders. Sometimes your card company lowers your limit quietly on its own. Whatever the reason, when your limit drops, your utilization instantly goes up. Same balance, smaller limit, and your score can fall. You didn't spend anything. The math just changed underneath you. Something similar happens as old accounts age off your report. A closed account in good standing can stay on for about 10 years. When it finally falls off, you can lose some of the length and positive history it was providing. Your score is a living thing. It reacts to the whole picture, including moves other people make. That's why checking it regularly matters. Here's one that surprises families. Many people build early credit by being added as an authorized user on someone else's card, often a parent's or a spouse's. That account's history can help your score. But it works both ways. If you're removed from that account, or the primary cardholder runs up a big balance or misses a payment, your score can move up or down because of someone else's behavior. The same goes for joint accounts. Their activity is your activity in the eyes of the bureaus. None of this means avoid sharing credit. It can be a powerful way to help a family member start out. It just means know whose accounts touch your report, so a surprise change doesn't blindside you. Now step back, because this explains a lot of mystery drops. Your credit score is not one number updated in real time. It's a snapshot, a photo of your credit taken at a single moment. 2 things follow. First, the 3 bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, don't all update on the same day or with the same information, so your score can differ from one bureau to the next and change on different days. Second, the score you see depends on when the photo was taken. Check it the day after a big statement posts and it looks worse. Check it after you've paid down and it looks better, even though nothing about you really changed. So a small dip on a random Tuesday isn't always a signal something's wrong. Sometimes it's just the timing of the snapshot. Sometimes a drop is a genuine warning, and you should treat it that way, because sometimes the reason isn't you at all. It's an error or it's fraud. Credit reports get things wrong more often than you'd think. In a landmark Federal Trade Commission study, about 1 in 5 consumers found an error on at least one of their credit reports. A wrong late payment, an account that isn't yours, a balance that's already paid. Any of these can drag your score down. Worse, an unexpected drop can be the first sign of identity theft. That's why a sudden, unexplained drop is worth investigating, not ignoring. You're legally entitled to dispute errors with the bureaus for free. A score you never look at can't warn you about anything. Now let's talk about what's changed in 2026, because the rules just shifted in real ways, and they affect why scores move. The biggest headline, medical debt. A federal rule finalized by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau removed an estimated $49 billion in medical debt from the reports of around 15 million Americans. Medical collections under $500 and paid medical collections are being taken off. For a lot of people, that's a score increase they did nothing to earn. At the same time, the mortgage world is moving to newer scoring models, FICO 10 and VantageScore 4.0. These models think about your credit a little differently than the old ones. Let's break down what actually changes for you. The most important shift in the newer models is something called trended data. Here's what that means in plain English. Older scores mostly looked at a snapshot, where you stand today. The newer FICO models look at the trend, your behavior over roughly the last 2 years. Are your balances creeping up month after month, or steadily coming down? This is good news for responsible people. If you've been chipping away at your balances and paying on time, the trend rewards that direction, not just today's number. But it cuts both ways. If you've slowly leaned harder on credit, carrying a little more each month, the trend can catch that, even if you never miss a payment. A good month is nice. A good 2 years is what moves the needle now. Let's stay on that medical debt change because it's one of the biggest consumer wins in years, and it explains a lot of surprise increases in 2026. For a long time, an unexpected medical bill that slipped into collections could tank an otherwise spotless report. People with perfect payment histories were getting punished for getting sick. Under the new rules, medical collections under $500 come off, and paid medical collections come off too. 15 million people are affected. If your score jumped this year and you weren't sure why, this could be it. And if you still see an old medical collection that should be gone under the new rules, that's exactly the kind of thing you can dispute. A perfect reason to actually look at your report. Here's a newer wrinkle catching people off guard. Buy now, pay later. Those split it into 4 payments offers at checkout. For years, most buy now, pay later plans lived outside the traditional credit system. They didn't help or hurt your score. That's changing. As these services have exploded, the bureaus are working toward reporting them more consistently, and some lenders now report missed payments. So a category that used to be invisible is slowly becoming visible. If you juggle several plans at once and miss one, it can start to show up. The rule of thumb hasn't changed. Treat buy now, pay later like any other credit. It's a real obligation, not free money. Track every plan and pay on time. So how do you actually see all of this and catch a bad drop early? You check your credit reports, and the most important thing to know is that it's free. By federal law, you're entitled to your reports from all 3 bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, at annualcreditreport.com. That's the official, genuinely free site. And in recent years, the bureaus have made reports available free every week. When you check, you're looking for accounts you don't recognize, balances that are wrong, late payments you know you didn't have, and old items that should have aged off. Checking your own report is a soft inquiry. It does not hurt your score no matter how often you do it. Make it a habit. It's your single best defense. So let's turn all of this into a simple game plan. First, the do's, general principles, not personalized advice. Do keep your utilization low, ideally under 30%, and under 10 is even better. Do pay your balance down before the statement closing date, not just the due date, so the snapshot the bureaus see is small. Do keep your oldest accounts open, especially the no-fee ones. Do group your rate shopping for a car or a mortgage into a short window so it counts as one inquiry. And do check all 3 of your reports for free at annualcreditreport.com on a schedule. Most surprise drops that actually matter can be spotted and often fixed just by looking. Now the don'ts. The moves that quietly cost good, on-time payers their points. Don't close your oldest credit card on a whim. You may spike your utilization and shorten your history in one move. Don't apply for a bunch of new credit in a short stretch unless you truly need it. Each hard inquiry leaves a small mark. Don't panic over a small dip. A few points on a random day is often just the timing of the snapshot, not a problem. And don't keep debt around purely to protect your score. Paying off a loan is a win, even if the number wobbles for a month. Finally, don't ignore an unexplained drop either. A real sudden fall can be an error or fraud, and that's the one time you should look immediately. So here's the bottom line. A credit score isn't a reward for paying on time and nothing else. It's a living measure of your whole relationship with credit. How much you owe, how long you've borrowed, how recently you've applied, and what kinds of credit you use. That's why a perfect payer can still lose points. A big purchase, a closed card, a paid-off loan, a lender cutting your limit, or just the timing of the monthly snapshot. None of them mean you did anything wrong. The goal isn't to obsess over every point. It's to understand the machine well enough that surprises stop being scary. Keep utilization low, keep old accounts open, apply deliberately, and check your reports for free. Do those things, and the score takes care of itself, dips and all. Let's recap by the numbers. Your FICO score is 5 factors. Payment history, about 35%. Amounts owed, about 30%. Length of history, about 15%. New credit, about 10%. And credit mix, about 10%. 65% of your score has nothing to do with paying on time, which is exactly why a perfect payer can drop. The usual suspects: a utilization spike, the statement date snapshot, a closed card, a paid-off loan, a hard inquiry, or a lender's limit cut. In 2026, remember the big shifts. $49 billion in medical debt removed for 15 million people, newer models rewarding your 2-year trend, and buy now, pay later slowly entering the picture. And your best tool is free, your 3 reports at annualcreditreport.com. Here's the real takeaway. A credit score dip is not a verdict on your character. It's feedback from a system with rules. Rules you now understand better than most people ever will. At USAFinance, that's the whole mission. Hand you what you need to get, keep, and grow your money. Sourced in plain English, never advice. If this cleared up something that's confused you for years, subscribe. It's free, and it's how we keep going. And next time, we tackle a question that hits every renter and every buyer. Is it actually smarter to rent or to buy a home in 2026? We'll run the real numbers, no cheerleading for either side, and show you what the data really says. I'm Don Blake. Make your money work. We'll see you next time.